tell me your name and
My
spell it
name,
out.
my name is Gustavo Matamoros. Spell it out. Gustavo. Gustavo Matamoros. Matamoros.
Okay, just keep looking at me. Tell me a little bit about your group, Frozen Music, and what kind of art you do.
Frozen Music is about a year old, and it was actually originated out of ideas that three musicians and sound artists, myself and Renee Barge, and David Dunn, who happens to live in Santa Fe, New Mexico. We had been, organizing our minds around different experiments with sound, and we came up with the idea of doing Frozen Music in order to bring music more, to make it more accessible to people. In other words, to take it to where people already gather. Sound art and experimental music, I think it's actually more available now. There's some new versions of what I'm used to understanding what experimental music is and so on. And you can hear a lot of things under that name over the internet. But what I know about it is it comes from the concert music side of music, and it's very much related to electronic music because of the tools that are used are basically electronic sounds, speakers, and things like that. Makes it easy to work with sound. So for us, it was important to try to also do things outdoors or in the open. And also another element of Frozen Music is connected to the ideas of sound art in that they relate to architecture. So, so in Frozen Music we record sounds, we create some sounds, but then really the context of it is what's most important. It's where is it happening, how the sounds are moving around the space, how are the sounds kind of, does the space like the sounds that are in it? Think of a fish tank, right? You create a fish tank, you put water in it, you put fish in it, and then the fish do what they do. Something like that.
And you said something earlier about sound art being controversial. Can you tell me a little bit more about why that's so?
Well, what's controversial about sound art is not so much sound art itself, although it's kind of the definition of it. There's not real, there's a lot of controversy about, what is it that sound art actually is. So I'm not sure that there's fights, like in the streets and things like that about what it should be, but I personally have my own ideas of what, sound art is about. And it may take, a very long time for me to explain those, but I'll try to point out just a few things. I think I've already said something of Frozen Music is sort of like an extended, it's like an ensemble performance version of, sound art. Sound art is actually about making things that are really long. We call those sound installations. And there's actually one in the museum here that I made for the show. The piece in here is called Coincidence, and it features the sounds that belong in that enclosure, the space where the piece lives, in the form of resonances. So I studied the space acoustically and found the resonant frequencies and used those frequencies to make the sustained sounds. And then there's also the sound of shrimp. So the sound of shrimp, which was captured both underwater and in the pan. So it turns out the reason why the piece is called Coincidence is because the sound of shrimp make when they're in the pan is similar to the sound they make underwater. So you hear in this piece, you hear those two sounds together, and it sounds pretty much alike.
So, more of a general question: what do you think about art in Miami? I mean, I've heard that there's some criticism about the art in Miami, that it's not.
Yeah, who's criticizing?
I'm not sure. That's what I've heard, that it's not, you know,
I
it's
haven't
not like
heard.
the art in New York.
I think.
Like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never heard that.
You
So
haven't.
I don't know what to say about that.
Okay.
I mean, about art in general, I don't know what to say.
Okay.
I'm an artist, basically. I'm not a art critic.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, we'll share.